Alright, okay. People want an updated list of my jump scares video and for me to include the 3rd and 4th games. I get it. So, now that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and 4 have been released and the 5th game is on the way, perhaps we should revisit my previous list about my favorite jump scares from the games and update it a little with the new content, eh? I mean, why not? I'm gonna assume most of you have already seen my previous video, but if you haven't, feel free to check that one out before this one so you can know the rules and all that jazz. This isn't necessarily a list of the scariest jump scares, only my favorites. I'm also gonna leave out the nightmare jump scares and some other jump scares to make it a nice, round, even top 30. Okay? Okay. Let's begin. Number 30. Plush Trap. This jump scare from the Plush Trap minigame is at number 30 because it looks absolutely hilarious. Those big beady little eyes just add to the comedy. It's like Plush Trap is grabbing you by the head to tell you some all-important news about the end of the world or something like that. It's too good. I mean, is it supposed to be scary? If so, allow me to laugh even harder! I cannot wait for the comments on this video, by the way. Number 29. Phantom Balloon Boy. I remember the first time I saw Balloon Boy's jump scare from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I jumped, yes, but what did I do afterwards? I laughed. In my opinion, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is probably the lowest point in the franchise so far, if we're excluding FNAF World. I mean, I still loved the challenge that the game presented me with, but by this point the Five Nights formula started wearing very thin for me, because the jump scares almost became an essential part of the experience, and weren't just a punishment for you screwing up. This was, to me, expanded on even further in the 4th game, but we'll get there eventually. But let's get back to Balloon Boy. This jump scare is, funny to me. Balloon Boy's face just looks funny, and the sound he makes is kind of over the top. But that's just me. This jump scare didn't work for me. Number 28. Phantom Mangle and Phantom Marionette. Another jump scare from the 3rd game. I'm including both Mangle and Marionette at the same spot because they're pretty similar. The only difference is like the sound that plays. They're both these awful, terrible, loud noises that hurt your ears whenever they appear, as the marionette stares into your soul and internally laughs at you. Spooky. The reason it's so high up though is because it's rather uneventful after that. Not a lot of action. Number 27. Toy Freddy. Again, like I said in my last video, Toy Freddy from the 2nd game just looks so frickin' funny when he screams. He looks derpy, happy, I'm so happy, and not at all frightening in the slightest. His big mouth and big eyes look so glad to see you. Aww. Like I said with Balloon Boy, it just looks silly. I mean, it provides some excellent comedy, but in a supposed horror game, it somewhat falls short. Number 26. Toy Bonnie. Another funny looking jump scare from the 2nd game. I think a lot of the toy animatronic jump scares from the game look so funny because the characters look so innocent and clean. I mean, the Uncanny Valley does make these guys a little hard to look at, but you can't deny that once they shove their face in your face, they look funny as hell. At least they look funny to me. And I'm the maker of this video, so hey, anything goes. Number 25. Phantom Freddy. Freddy in the 3rd game looks just like he woke up from a hard day's work and hasn't had time to shower yet. What time is it? What was that sound? Are those young whippersnappers out and about again, climbing in those trees? I'll give them a piece of my mind. And then, as quickly as he appeared, he's gone. I like to think that he went off to work, smelling all gross and sweaty. Perhaps he got fired after that. Probably. He should have had a Snickers. He's not himself when he's hungry. No, this video is 100% serious. What are you talking about? Number 24. Golden Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Ah yes, the magnificent floating Freddy head from Five Nights 2. I wonder where he gets his momentum from. Or the other animatronics playing baseball and using his head as their ball, perhaps? Maybe hitting Jeremy in the face is a home run! 10 points if it goes through his stomach, 50 points if it goes through his head. Oh my lord, Johnny, that's a clear 50 points on the field, and young Freddy Fazbear is looking to run the extra mile, and it's a home run! I'm having way too much fun with these characters. Anyways, Golden Freddy's jump scare from the second game is more comical than it is scary, because it's nothing but a floating head coming towards you with its jaw wide open. Great for laughs, not so great for giving you nightmares. Number 23. Phantom Chica. There is something about the proportions of the way Chica looks in the third game that makes her look really amusing to me. It's probably got something to do with her beak and her head shape. I mean, the image that appears on the monitors before Chica appears does look pretty scary, but when she actually does appear, she just screams and then leaves. She tilts her head a little bit while doing it too, so it's like she's about to give you a smooch. There, even more material for the cringy fanfickers to thrive on. Should we be cheering? No. Number 22. Springtrap behind the monitor. Here's a summarized version of what this jump scare looks like to me.
Hey bros, what's going on?
Hey! May I have your attention, please?
Yeah, we're with the pet hospital down the street.
Heather, I need to speak with you.
Let's get right into the news!
It looks pretty jolly. Who could say no to a smile like that? No, but I like this jump scare because of Springtrap's pretty awesome design. However, I do prefer his other jump scare, as this one is more on the ridiculous spectrum. Oh well. Number 21. Freddy in the Darkness. Freddy in this jump scare from the game that started it all looks pretty small in scale in my eyes, and in this jump scare it looks like he's spazzing out, having a seizure or something. To me, he looks like a toy whose mechanics have broken and who is just still trying to perform his daily duties. What a brave soul. Respect, Freddy. Respect. And thanks for the hug, man. Number 20. Toy Chica. Toy Chica's jump scare from the second game is my favorite toy animatronic jump scare, if you exclude Mangle. The reason for this is because I think Toy Chica is the scariest of the bunch, since she removes her beak in order to better showcase her robotic teeth. Does she even brush those? Kids who I know are watching this, remember to brush your teeth twice a day. You don't want to end up looking like this, do ya? Like the love child of a Lego man and a Simpsons character? If you do, well, be my guest. Toy Chica is so eager to show herself to you that she accidentally kills you. What a silly sausage. Because as we all know, the animatronics are just nice and misunderstood. They're so fragile and gentle, and we have to feel sorry for them. Poor, poor murderous robots. Number 19. Bonnie. My first jump scare from these games. The memories, eh? Unfortunately, Bonnie from the first game comes in at the number 19 spot, simply because I like the other jump scares a little bit more. Bonnie looks like he wants a piece of that fleshy face of yours, and wants it badly, since he hasn't eaten for weeks. See, this is why you feed your pets regularly. Treat them with respect, and they will love you forever. This promising young man learned that the hard way. Ow. Rest in pieces, you handsome devil. Number 18. Springtrap. No matter what you do in this game, you cannot wipe that smirk off of Springtrap's smug face. This results in the jump scares from him looking pretty dopey and entertaining, and nowhere is this more reiterated than when he screams in your face with this jump scare. He just steps into the room like it's his, and thinks everyone should bow down to him. But hey, maybe he's not so bad. Perhaps he wants to show off something cool. It's not his fault that his appearance gives you a heart attack. I mean, he seems so pleased with himself. I bet he just thought of some great joke and wants to tell it to you. Or he just wants you dead. Nah, that's probably not it. Number 17. Withered Foxy. Why yes, our old friend Foxy from the second game is at number 17. and I cannot wait to read the comments of everyone who will be personally offended by this choice. With this nice little jump scare, the pirate fellow runs up to you with open arms and a massive grin on his face that is no doubt trying to chomp you. There's no question about it. What, you think he's trying to hug you? Have you ever seen anyone hug someone else with their teeth that exposed? I sure haven't. Not unless they're about to kill me. Because Foxy is trying to kill you. There is no question about it. Number 16. Freddy. Freddy from the first game is one jump scare that can catch you off guard if you're not careful. You always have to keep an eye on the brown fellow, as with Foxy, and if you don't give him the time of day, oh boy, he won't show you mercy. I mean, look at those angry eyebrows. I do love the build-up before his jump scare too. At first you hear this low laugh in the background, and you realize that he has moved. Then, you slowly start to hear his theme song playing in the background, which means that he's close. Then, you realize that he's standing right outside your office. And then, it's like he snuck up behind you. It's a very creepy thought. On that subject, look behind you. Number 15. The Cupcake. Well, howdy do, the Cupcake got himself his own jump scare. How far we've come. Next to Plush Trap, this is probably the funniest jump scare from the fourth game. I mean, getting killed by a cupcake, is there any more embarrassing way to go? Maybe dying from tripping over the edge of a carpet, I don't know. I will say that I really like the designs of every animatronic in the fourth game. They all look really cool and really demented. In the first game, the animatronics for the most part looked pretty clean and well kept. In the second, some were clean and tidy, and some were starting to decompose. In the third, they were at their breaking point, and in the fourth, they're practically zombies. And nowhere is this more reaffirmed than with the Cupcake, who has grown some new sharp teeth. I also love how it just pops out of nowhere. It's like he was waiting for the perfect moment to show off his killer smile, and just couldn't hold himself any longer. A peekaboo! Number 14. The Marionette. The Marionette from game number 2 sure brings the uncanny valley into the forefront. The Marionette capitalizes on the fear a lot of people have for clowns and thinks with constant smiles. I mean, take it from me, kids. You can't trust someone who smiles all the time. It's just a fact. Especially not this guy. The Marionette was the first jump scare I encountered from the second game, and is a good example of how to build suspense before a jump scare. So you inspect the place where the little puppet is, and you think, whoa, what do I do here? Then, you might notice that the puppet rises from the grave, like a string is pulling it up and moving it around. When you hear its theme, you know you've messed up. You might as well give up and quit right then and there. So then, of course, the puppet jumps at you, and it's game over. I have to admit that the appearance of the Marionette is pretty menacing. The unnaturally thin appearance of the thing is just unsettling to me. Slenderman, anyone? Number 13. Chica. Well, here we have good old cross-eyed, 1,000-yard stare Chica from the first game, eloquently screaming at the top of her lungs as she makes you meet your maker. If we compare the jump scares from the first game, Golden Freddy is probably the creepiest. Freddy's jump scares are both the most spazzy, Foxy's is a little pulled back and far away, Bonnie's is, while crazy, pretty reserved, and Chica's jump scare is just insane. She really doesn't like you. I guess people like you just aren't allowed at the happy-go-lucky restaurant for all ages. But do you blame her for being paranoid though? Just look at all that's been going down at this shady frickin' company. But I mean, the kids seem to enjoy it, so who really cares? Number 12. Foxy. Like I said a few moments ago, Foxy's jump scare from Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is a little less in your face and certainly respects your personal space a little more. This results in the scare being unique when compared to the rest of them, but it also makes it seem as if Foxy is some sort of TV advertiser or some hard-working citizen who has just arrived home from a long day's work.
Hi honey, I'm home. Hi honey, I'm home.
Therefore, I like this one. Foxy looks pretty broken and out of order compared to the rest of the killer animals lurking around, which adds to his unique appearance. Rock on, you marathon running champion. Number 11. Golden Freddy from the first game. Golden Freddy is the wild card of the first game. You never quite know when he's gonna appear, until you see that poster. This certain jump scare was without a doubt one of the most mysterious and interesting occurrences of the entire game, because at that time, no one knew what it meant. It was deeply tucked away somewhere, deep inside the game, and could only be triggered randomly with no set rules applied. Imagine finding this Easter egg on your own one late night while playing. You've never heard of it before. You haven't seen any videos about it or anything like that. Suddenly, this yellow being appears before you, being closer to you than any other animatronic by this point. The yellow creature appears before you, and then the game shuts itself off. Absolute brilliance on Scott's part, I have to give him that. No one expected it, and no one saw it coming, and it sparked one hell of an interesting debate all over the internet. It also led to some of the dumbest, most far-fetched theories I've ever seen. Don't you just love it when people treat their theories that they 9 times out of 10 heard from somewhere else and just run with it as fact, and then get mad at you for questioning it one bit? Please, for the love of God, listen to me now. Theories are not fact. Getting mad at people for disagreeing with you and presenting factual evidence disproving you is nothing but destructive behavior and will only make you and everyone else who plays these games look bad. It will never, ever help your case. Okay? Let's move on. Number 10. Phantom Foxy. Phantom Foxy from Game 3 looks pretty awesome, and definitely rather menacing with the slumped over body expression he has. The fact that he looks tall is also very intimidating, and the tilted head makes him look brain dead or like he's being controlled by someone pulling strings, kinda like the marionette. In true Foxy fashion, he jumps at you. Luckily for you though, this time he doesn't kill you. He's just there to give you a quick little slap on the bum before returning back to, wherever he came from. Robo Heaven maybe? Number 9. Withered Bonnie. Bonnie from the second game, with his missing face, is easily one of the more terrifying enemies from that restaurant. Broken, decomposing, and out of service, but still out for your blood, and with a firm grip that certainly won't falter once he comes near you. If you compare Toy Bonnie to the old Bonnie, it's like looking at 2 different beasts altogether. Toy Bonnie looks fun, happy and jolly. Old Bonnie looks like a freaky monster. Animatronics have never looked this demented. With Old Bonnie's jump scare, it appears as though he's grabbing for your face, as if to replace his removed face with yours. That is one distressing thought to have while being stuck in the same building as him. And Bonnie isn't even alone. He's got tons of friends that are ready to jump at you at any given moment. Poor Jeremy. Number 8. Withered Freddy. Next up we have Freddy from the second game, who is looking devilishly evil with that smirk of his. While certain animatronics in the series have smiles on them that makes them look silly, that's not necessarily the case with old Freddy. To me, that smile together with the soul-piercing eyes he possesses really add to the creep factor of the uncanny, robotic appearances of the animatronics. I even made a Freddy head based on this version of Freddy once. I brought it to school during one of the days when people could dress up and stuff. I won a competition with that outfit. Must have been the magic of Freddy. Number 7. Bonnie from Five Nights 4. Oh boy, Scott is an evil freaking genius when it comes to these games. How do you scare someone even more with jump scares? You make listening to low sound effects an essential part of the experience. You see, I hate loud noises. I really do. My ears are quite sensitive. So for that, screw the fourth game, man. But enough about that. Let's talk about Bonnie from the game. Bonnie has gone from looking kinda creepy to pretty creepy to full-blown what the hell is that? And so have the other animatronics as well, which I love. A slow degradation has led us to where we are now, where every animatronic looks like a rejected hellspawn. Now I will admit that Bonnie is my least favorite jump scare from the main animatronics of the fourth game, if you don't include Plushtrap and the Cupcake, because of the whiskers on his face. It makes him look a little goofy. I also like how it looks like he runs up to you like, yeah, what a goof. Number 6. Foxy from Five Nights 4. Yes, this is my favorite Foxy jump scare. Like I said, I love the looks of the animatronics in the fourth game. It's like Scott didn't want to hold back anymore, and just let his imagination run wild with how horrible and disgusting he wanted the robots to look like. Foxy in this game looks completely ruined, and is tall as ever, which is once again very intimidating. He lifts you up in the air, roars at you, and then it's over. However, as intimidating as he looks, Foxy still looks somewhat small and, skinny compared to some of the other monsters you encounter in Five Nights 4, and therefore, the ones I will talk about shortly are a lot more terrifying. Number 5. Mangle. Yes, Mangle has been demoted to 5th place. And are you guys noticing a pattern here? Yep, I am a sucker for the animatronics that are old, broken, disgusting and dirty. Mangle is probably the one who is in the worst shape possible in game number 2, next to Golden Freddy, and I love that. She emits radio static whenever she's close, which adds a real presence whenever she enters the scene. And when she's up there on the ceiling like a spider, simply watching you, it's really, really daunting. It's like she's toying with you, just waiting for the right moment to swoop in and end you, but just wants to wait a little bit longer just to give you the fright of your life. Very diabolical stuff. Number 4. Chica from Five Nights 4. Spot number 4 goes to Chica from game number 4, who is now sporting a new triple set of razor-sharp teeth. Ow! Those must hurt. She's also got one normal and one red eye. Must have taken inspiration from everyone's favorite bass player. Chica has always been pretty big. If you look at her in Five Nights 2, she's massive, and in the fourth game, she's even bigger, which is just scary. Her way too many sets of teeth were bad enough in the previous games, but are taken to another extreme in this one. There's so many and so sharp. They really do look painful. Poor, poor, poor kid who has to go through this nightmare. My thoughts go out to you, young man. Number 3. Freddy from Five Nights 4. Yeah, we're including pretty much all of the nightmare creatures from the fourth game at the end of the list, including Freddy, our precious mascot, who in this game has a nice little ear piercing and certainly sharpened his teeth. Much like the other monsters in the game, Freddy too picks you up from the floor as if to bring you closer to his face so that he can get a good look at you. The brown washed out colors that Freddy possesses make him look pretty darn gross and filthy and very dangerous as well. His eyes look almost bloodshot and fixed on you, which means that you certainly cannot look away. Great stuff. Number 2. Withered Chica. Oh yes, I still love old Chica from the second game. I love the design of her. Definitely the most scary looking animatronic from that game because of her huge abnormal jaw. It just makes me uncomfortable, and this makes her jump scare all the more awesome. Her head seems to be split into two parts, with a bunch of cables sticking out of her throat and mouth. It just seems like those cables would really electrify whoever becomes Chica's next victim. And I think it's great that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 never really shows you what happens to the player once they get a game over. In the first game you see it and it looks pretty gross, but in the second game and so on, you never really do. That makes it a lot worse in my eyes. So, you never really know what Chica might do to you. Let those thoughts drive you mad. Number 1. Golden Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Oh yeah! Well, here goes. Golden Freddy from the 4th game is my favorite jump scare. Not only because Golden Freddy looks fucking freaky and massive, but also because of those red eyes, man. The way he just approaches your room slowly is just, it's very, very good stuff. I love his design in this game, and I love how huge he looks. It's very menacing and very alarming. He looks bulky, rotten, and almost muscular due to his giant figure. Also, his mouth is so damn big. I bet he could swallow a human in one bite with a gob like that. Spooky. I like this jump scare because Scott took a character that has been central to the story throughout every game, and made him appear even more petrifying and relentless than ever before. If I ever were to rank the animatronics based on who I would least like to spend a night in a dark room with, Golden Freddy from 4 would definitely be at number 1. He's huge, he's vicious, and he's nasty. And I love it. Golden Freddy gets a thumbs up. Well, there you have it. An updated jump scares list that included the 3rd and 4th game. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Hopefully this comment section will be just as big of a goldmine as the last one. That would be loads of fun. No, but please, be respectful to one another, okay? Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. Stay awesome. Goodbye. Luckily for you, however, luckily for you, though,